Carol may have believed your bullshit, but not me. So you and your sick friends, you stay the fuck away from me and my family. You understand?
If you're hearing our voices, that means it's time for It's This Meets That, the podcast where we watch terrible movies so you don't have to, but maybe you should. I said that really fast because I had to. I'm Russ.
I'm Jared.
And we're back.
We're back.
Part 2, White Noise, 2005. Not to be confused with the 20-something movie about alt-right assholes. Yeah, 2021, whatever. It doesn't matter. All the same thing.
This year, Russ.
Yeah, this year. I don't even know what year it is. So here we are, Part 2, White Noise, with Michael Keaton, Deborah Unger, and some other people.
Ian McNeice. Piece of shit.
McNeice. Our British genius who knows everything about EVPs. If you don't know anything about
McNeice, I'm so sorry.
Yeah. If you don't know anything about EVPs at this point, I don't know what to tell you. It was in a trailer. It was written on a screen twice. It's been explained 3 times. Just
go back and listen to the last 2 episodes. Yeah.
Yes.
You're bound to figure it out.
Yes. Everyone knows about electric vehicle prosperity. So let's just we're done with that. So do you remember where we left off?
Well,
because
sure.
I kind of do.
Yes, I do. At that point, when we last met with our hero, Michael Keaton was at Ray's house, Raymond Price, right? Raymond Price. And was getting violently threatened by
static
ghostesses.
Yeah, static electricity.
Yeah, in the static. Yeah. And
by static, it's the band from the late 90s.
Right. And Raymond Price insisted that it was all okay because they can't all be Anna's, which is Michael Keaton's, Jonathan's wife.
Yes. Dead wife.
Right.
Dead no longer with us.
Yeah. In case you didn't listen to part 1.
Yeah. He also has an ex-wife, by the way. He also has an ex-wife who his son he had with, which is
I don't know what her name is. Is it also Sarah?
I think it's Jane.
Oh, you're right. It's Jane.
Yeah. I don't know if they say it, but I just read it somewhere.
So Michael Keaton's got this wild collection of cassette tapes in his house. We're back at the mansion. Well, we're not the mansion anymore. We're at his new apartment mansion.
I mean, yeah, it's a sweet place. Yeah.
Yeah. It's the same, but different.
It's the same, but cooler.
Yeah. And why wouldn't any of this be digital? He's got 100,000 cassette tapes.
It screams, I don't have a family.
Right. Despite the fact that his son is hanging around, getting lost in tapes and stuff.
Yeah.
Bananas. And then we hear finally from his static, because dear listener, I hope that we're going to skip a bunch of scenes in this movie where Michael Keaton is just watching static. There's probably 20 minutes of the movie where he's just watching static, right?
They're all montages, like a million montages of him just watching static, just more static. It's
and from the static this time we get Susie Tomlinson.
Yeah. Is she British? Oh, she yeah. I don't know. No, she's not British.
No, she's regular. I think the lady might be British, but
she's regular.
She might also be regular. And then Raymond calls him up and says, "Get over here right away."
Oh, yeah. Right. Which is a little bit of a Okay. So he rushes over to Ray's house.
Right.
Raymond Price's house, right?
Raymond Price, yeah.
And he gets there and the lights are all out and the house is dark. And he's like, "Oh, that's weird, right? That's odd."
Yeah. And then he goes to knock and the door swings open, which is never a good sign.
Never a good sign. Jared, if you come to my house and you knock on my door just swings open, just go home.
I'd walk away. Right.
Yeah, just go home. Call the cops, say something happened, and just go home.
Nope.
You don't need to check out what's going on in here.
No. Now, to be fair, I do have some friends that leave their houses open, which
that's
kind of a weird thing to do, right?
I'm going to go with a weird thing to do. Is this on the list? It's like drinking in the car
and
leaving
from St. Louis. Kind of.
What? I'm from St. Louis, so you said?
Kind of.
Am I? What? Not even close.
Not no. What? At one point.
What? No, not even close. I've been to St. Louis.
Exactly.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah, it's just like you worked for AOL. Not real.
But I think in St. Louis, you wouldn't leave your doors open like that.
No, you wouldn't. Exactly.
Yeah.
Crime ridden. What I was trying to get at is St. Louis is crime ridden. Sorry for our Missouri listeners.
Wow. Oh boy. Here we go. This is going to be a long part too.
Sure is, bud. Sure is.
Sure is. Either way, no matter where you're from, I think just leaving your door open, one unlocked but closed, okay, that's fine. But leaving it open where it's actually partially open, where you go to knock, which, by the way, if you go to knock on a door and you don't notice that it's actually open, come on.
You're also dumb, right?
You're dumb. You're dumb. Come on.
Yeah. The fault is on you.
Yeah.
You deserve to go into that house.
So the door thing, come on. So he knocks on the door, it opens up, and then he goes inside Raymond Price's home.
Well, the phone is off the hook, right? He like goes over and phone's off the hook, buzzing, as always.
A lot of stuff's off the hook in his apartment. So, phone's off the hook. Lights are out. It's getting, kind of building some anticipation here. Like, oh man, where's Ray? Now I'm worried. I'm like, where's Ray? Ray, come on, man.
He was my third favorite character in this movie.
Yeah, because he's, I think only the third.
Well, my favorite character is whoever yelled, like, "Go away, bastard!" or whatever.
I'm going. My favorite character is the kid, because he wasn't.
He's my second favorite, right?
Because he'd have to deal with it. And he's just kind of like,
right.
All right.
And then my third favorite character is Raymond. So
okay, all right, that's fair. So it's
Michael
missing.
Keaton's way low.
Keaton's trying to figure it all out, and he is poking around, and all of a sudden he gets into the room he was in when we first met him, right? Where all of Raymond's equipment is. It's
weirdly smoky, which I don't understand.
Because old analog equipment, that's what happens. It gets turned over.
Okay, sure.
Tape burns.
Sure.
It gets hot. Sure. It melts.
Yeah, that happens. Yeah,
and the room's just tossed. It looks like the KGB came through. They were looking for some secret artifacts, And
whoa!
What?
We have Russian listeners, Russ.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. FSB.
And the room is just tossed. And I was like, oh man, yeah. Someone's looking for something important in here. Mm-hmm. It's not that anyone was looking for anything. They were just destroying everything.
Yeah. Broken glass everywhere. There's a staticky screen with a bunch of people on it, like sitting in the corner, which is like the shadowy, scary people that like we kind of gloss over.
We'll skip that. VSRs or VCRs all over the place. Well,
I've heard it both ways. The right way and then yours.
It's going to be a long episode. VCRs just strewn about. Reel-to-reels are just not reeling anymore.
Yep.
It's chaos. But screen monitors just poor Raymond. But the screen monitors are still working, and Keaton comes, he looks over the desk and he's like, oh man, could this get any worse? And it does.
Sure enough. There's like a bunch of tape strangling Raymond on the floor or something like that. And then there's a TV on top of him too, just for good measure.
just let you know. Yeah. And that's
poor Raymond.
That's the end of
then it's like, cutscene, and the next scene, there's like the police officer rolls up and he's talking to Michael Keaton. And he goes, well, I can't tell you any more than you'd read in the papers. Oh, thanks, cop. What?
I'm like, also, hey, by the way, Mr. Keaton, whatever. How did you come over here in the middle of the night?
Yeah, a lot of questions.
and how did you? He's like, oh yeah, I got a phone call. I guess he could have said. No, I guess he could have said I got. He
did say that.
Oh, did he?
He did say that. Yeah.
Oh,
he said,
okay. I got a phone call.
Called me. I came over. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay, that clears that. Okay, I was like, it felt a little weird, but
he like relatively cleared his name most of the time, I think.
Yeah. After a couple times, you're like, all right.
Definitely got implicated in many crimes.
Also, who's Frosted Tips? I don't think they're Frosted Tips. Who's blonde Peaks is worse, the detective or Michael Keaton's?
The detective, for sure.
Like,
Michael Keaton looks almost reasonable.
the detective looks like he's like the lead singer of like an alt metal band
Right.
or a new metal band from 2005.
Yes, exactly.
And he does not look like a detective, but hey, whatever.
Yeah, and then we get like a nice anachronistic camera noise to like close it out, where it's like, ching, shing, like like the weird like long developing noise kind of.
Yep.
Yeah, it makes
Nice.
perfect sense.
Yeah,
Great movie.
No, nice touch. Now we're back at the bookstore with Sarah, Deborah Unger.
Where she's so rattled. She's like, it doesn't make any sense. He was helping people. Talking about Raymond's death.
Yep.
And they're like digging through all of Raymond's old stuff, trying to find Anna's tapes because presumably they're tapes of Anna.
Yeah, and they're organizing his recordings and all of his notes or whatever. And there's a quick throwaway line of like, hey, it was nice of you to come to the funeral for Raymond. So clearly they both went to the funeral and some time has passed.
Right.
And then Keaton's go ahead. What do you got?
Well, I was going to say there's lots of quick cuts around this notebook that Keaton's reading. Where it's the bastard pig, the bitch. like it's like Cartman.
Yes, pretty much.
It's like a Cartman diary that Raymond left behind.
Yeah, Raymond took meticulous notes. Very nice, very clean, very tight, very organized. I appreciated it as someone who's a little bit of OCD. I was like, yeah, that's good. Good. These are organized notes.
Yeah, I'm not a note taker these days.
I sure think the last time I took notes.
Oh, you're retired.
Yeah, I don't.
Other than the podcast. Well, you take notes for the podcast. So.
Well, of course. Yeah. But I mean, I don't know. Not like
important notes.
Yeah, the most important notes of all the notes. So he comes across some nasty notes. So just nasty notes. Nasty notes.
Oh yeah.
Come across some nasty notes. And it's like, okay, give us a hint that there's some dark shit out there in the, stuff that's not good on the other side of the analog tape.
Nasty notes.
On the B side, if you will.
Ugh, I won't.
Yes, you will. Damn. And then we get like a jump scare cut to a TV, don't we?
I think so. Yeah. This is when we cut back to
home,
Jonathan's fancy apartment, right? Where he's got a bunch of TVs set up. The kid asks depressingly, why do we have so many TVs, Daddy? And he's like, well, that way you can watch your favorite shows and I can watch mine, which are static. Oh, cool.
Oh, cool, Dad.
Yeah, everything is fine and normal. Thanks, Dad.
Oh man, Bruce Wayne is so weird.
He really is. And then we get a nice montage of the VCR recordings with like the kids playing, the kids coming and going with his mom.
Yep.
We're cutting through a lot of time, thankfully.
Yeah. Like you said, kid playing by himself. Yeah. And then
Michael Keaton and the wife. We got like some photos. In case you forgot what's happening in the movie, they like cut quick to Michael Keaton and his wife to be like, oh, remember? This is the thing that we're focused on.
Oh my God. And then there's like shots of obviously ex-wife picking up son.
Right.
Obviously the wife is the ex-wife is kind of like, oh, obviously something's a little.
The ex? Nice.
Right? The ex-wife, right? Because the ex-wife would be the dead wife and then.
Right. I thought you were talking about the band, the XX.
No.
Okay. Anyway. But yeah, then I appreciate when we start cutting to Michael Keaton throwing things. He gets frustrated. He's throwing stuff at the static.
Yeah. He's
looking at the static.
See, if you'd seen the movie Clean and Sober, he gets angry in that movie.
Oh yeah, I would have liked that. Not like multiplicity situation, right?
Yeah. No, it's too happy then. No, now he's just like, I can't see through the static. And he's just like all angry.
He's got his head in his hands. Throwing stuff against walls, and then fade to black as always.
Random question. Hopefully this will be a short one. I mean, is his dead wife his ex-wife?
No, the dead wife's the current wife.
Yeah, but she's dead though. So going forward, would you say that's your ex-wife, or is it just
interesting? No, I think your dead wife is what you say.
Okay, but then his wife before that then would be his ex-wife.
She's the ex-wife, right?
Yeah, so he has an ex-wife, and then he's gonna have a dead wife. So if you were to introduce yourself again and be like, "Hey, yeah," and you're like, "Have you been married before?" I'm like, "Yes, I have a dead wife. Oh, that's my dead wife, and then that's my ex-wife."
Right now, and if you got re-engaged to his ex-wife, you could call her the once and future wife, I suppose.
Oh, interesting.
But yeah, I think dead wife is appropriate terminology.
So you wouldn't call your dead wife your ex-wife, because
no, I don't think so, because we didn't get divorced. She died.
she just died. Okay,
Right.
Okay.
I think X is reserved for separation.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, I buy that. Okay.
Consensual separation. I think dying is separate.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah. I just wanted to clear that up. Okay. So
Yeah, I'm glad we had this chat.
I was just curious. Moving along. I thought it was a good question. I think a lot of
we're like halfway through the movie finally. Fuck.
No, we good. Mm-hmm. Right. So now we just jump to him at some woman's house.
Right, a medium, it seems like.
Yeah. Well, right off the bat, you're kind of like,
well, maybe an extra large. Just kidding. She's regular sized. I don't know why I said that.
I mean, I wear a medium. That's weird. That's actually a weird thing to say.
Yeah, that's a weird thing to say too.
Well, in the context. Yeah,
no, keep it going.
I wear a medium t-shirt.
No, yep, keep it going.
Okay. Anyways, so he's just at some random woman's house, and it takes a second, but you figure out that he's with a medium, an extra special person, ESP. Is that what right?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Like an ESB, extra special bidder.
She's an ESPN, and always comes back to Disney. And she's like, at first, it's a little like, he's obviously doubting everything that's going on, right? And that's why he's here. And he's just trying to, like, and now he's like,
well,
this
is he obviously? Because it seems like he's bought in pretty hard.
But this seems like bottom of the barrel. Like, he's trying to get like confirmation that like the things that he's hearing and doing and getting obsessed with are like is true, right?
Oh yeah, confirmation bias to the max for sure.
So when you want to get confirmation, you go to a medium.
Right. Exactly.
Have you ever been to an ESPN or a medium or anyone who's like,
no, never. No.
Have
you?
No, maybe we should go see if like how long this is gonna last.
Yeah, that could be fun,
right?
Listeners, if you would fund that, send us an email.
I think it only costs like $20. I don't know.
It's probably like $20. How much does it cost to go to a ESPN?
I don't know. I think it's only like 10 or 12. I don't know, $15 a person, maybe.
Okay. Well, we'll look into that. But yeah, reach out to us if you have a suggestion for where we could go or where we should go. Don't say it to hell, because ha.
I mean, you can, but do it when you write it on to Apple reviews and give us 5 stars. Give us 5 stars and say go to hell.
Russ is exactly right. Give us 5 stars on Apple and then say go to hell.
Go to hell. That's fine.
Nice.
Got you covered. So here he is. He's here, and we get the medium, the ESPN lady, and she's like, right off the bat, she's like, I see Willow Avenue. Someone's saying Willow Avenue.
Yeah.
And he's like, nah,
I don't think
so. No Willow Avenue. And then she's like, your wife, she passed away recently, huh? Oh, and she was an author. And I was like, dude, don't. She watched the news. Like, you were all over the news. Like, this is all over the news. Like,
you're an architect husband, I think.
I'm just throwing it out there, but but it looks like he's actually buying it. I'm like, wait, no, she literally just watched the news.
It's like, well, yeah, I guess, yeah, no, she was right. Yeah. And she's like, the lights are way too bright. It's hard to see.
Until I see another $20. I was like, this lady is a fraud. And I was like, I don't buy it.
Yeah.
And then we get a jump scare, don't we? In here?
Yep. A spooky static face.
Boom.
Coming right up.
Yep. And then and this is where we get. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say this is when Jonathan starts to explain to what's her face, like what he's doing. He's like, "Oh yeah, well it's electronic voice," and she cuts him off justifiably and being like,
Mm-hmm.
"I know what it is.
It's
you,
yeah,
you shouldn't be doing it. It's not safe. Like
yeah.
we spend years trying to protect you people from doing this from
Whoa,
the people who
whoa,
want you.
easy, lady, easy.
You be calling you people first of all, but." Second of all, you're misreading everything, is what she says to him. Like
Yes,
he's not getting the situation.
yes, yep. And then she's pretty much from the trailer. This whole scene's from the trailer where she throws the
Right.
word metal around left and right, like it's just
With D's,
oh
not with T's.
yeah, metal, yeah, T's, yeah, without T's, but
Scooby Doo style.
yeah, you shouldn't meddle with the dead. Meddle with the dead.
You meddling kids.
Like, so she's sitting there going through the whole thing, and she stands up and she freaks out. And she's like, "You're meddling, don't meddle, blah blah blah." And she's not looking at him when she's saying this. And I was like, "Is she blind?"
Tyson mentioned that too. Yeah, and
I was
we
like,
were like, oh, maybe she's
I was
blind
like,
or
"Is she
something.
blind?" And then it was like, then when they cut to him walking in the house, it was like, "Oh, I see her, her, walking, stick there in the corner or whatever." And I was like, "Oh, okay, she's blind." But I was like, do all clairvoyant mediums need to be blind? Like, is that a
I don't think so. No,
yeah? Because you can't see the world, but you can hear it, and you know what I mean. Like,
your third eye gets opened when your
when you lose the sense.
regular eyes get closed.
And then so he's like, whatever. He's leaving the apartment. And
Are you sure nothing about Willow Ave?
Are you
Are
sure?
you really sure? She's like, I'm really seeing it. And he's like, no, leave me alone.
Wow, movie. If you've mentioned Willow Ave this many times, I wonder if it's going to come back.
Also, she was pregnant, right? And he's like, whatever. Fine.
Shit, I guess Willow Ave is probably important.
No, it doesn't even recognize that. He's just like, oh, whatever. She gets one in four right, I guess.
Lucky guess, right? And then that's it.
So this time it's not rain, but it's a fountain. It will be rain in a minute. Don't worry.
When we're back at it, we're back at his home, right? Back at the Keaton apartment.
Yep, exactly. And guess who's watching more tapes? It's our pal Michael Keaton.
Jesus Christ, there's so much static. Oh my God.
Yep. So all day he's doing that. Then it's nighttime, and thankfully it's raining again. In case you weren't sure,
a lot of static watching on his Sony TVs while he's eating carrots.
Yep. He's starting to get voices more frequently now. I feel like because he gets the children's voices of "we play every day." Yeah, and then like a bunch of distorted man voices, and like there's some weird images of a kid and some other people, and then we get another Susie Tomlinson's smile. From the creepy old lady that does not look like my Nana.
I didn't know what was going on here. I don't know. I just was like, I don't know what's going on. I just want
it does. That's fair. That's reasonable. And then there's three shadowy figures on the static. As soon as he looks away, of course, they're the main antagonists at this point, seemingly.
Yep. Yes.
And then it's another scene in the books.
So now, I mean, I won't lie. Like at this point, I'm like, this is when it's kind of becoming a little bit more interesting.
Disagree. It's becoming more frustrating because of how stupid it is.
I was like, well, all right, we get the three shadowy figures, and I was like, all right, maybe there's gonna be the line up to some moment where there's because
there isn't.
Damn it.
Good try though.
But yeah, okay. Anyways,
you had a good run.
All right, so then we visit. Keaton goes on a road trip and visits. Keaton visits a woman.
Oh boy! Thankfully, there are puddles everywhere, so it's like okay, the rain is consistent at least. Like it is wet, like it should be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Classic Pacific Northwest.
Always raining, am I right?
And then he rolls up to some woman and says, "Excuse me, are you Susie Tomlinson?"
Why, yes, I am. Come on in for some tea with milk. She doesn't say that,
Louise.
but I'm guessing that's what happens.
Here, it has milk.
Here, it has. Here, milk.
So then we get this is when we get a bunch of staticky pictures. We get Susie Tomlinson's mother, who died giving birth. The grandmother, tried all kinds of paranormal stuff to try and reach the mother, her daughter. She told the granddaughter that she'd let her know if she ever found the mother on the other side. It's a whole thing. And apparently the things that her grandmother always used to say to her, which is kind of fucked up, was like, Susie, lighten up, like smile. She's like, my grandmother always told me to smile. And then she starts crying.
Is that what like catfishing dudes say? Like, hey, smile, lighten up.
Yes, it's like what sexual harassers say, Russ.
Yeah, I think Susie's grandmother was just harassing her. Anyways,
you think Susie's grandmother was sexually harassing her?
I didn't say that.
I did.
Okay. Then I agree.
Good. But then the weird part happens where Jonathan says, that can't be true. When Susie says that her grandmother died 2 days ago, I've been getting messages from your grandmother for a week now. Bum, bum, bum.
Bum, bum, bum.
And she's like, no, for
we're
real,
into
2
some
days ago.
time travel shit right now.
I hate this movie so much.
No,
I'm getting so mad again.
No, this is where I got it. No, I got into it now. I was like, oh wait, what? I was into it. I got into it. I'm sticking with it. I'm not just bullshitting you just to be Mr. Contrario. I think I was.
No.
This is when this
Spider-Man's worst nemesis. Powers of contrarianism.
Whatever you say, I can say the opposite, and it's true. All right, so because I said it.
Mysterio, what a great villain. Anyway, so
all right, so
there's a weird staticky transition. Again, we haven't had one for a while.
Yeah, we haven't, because
it's amping
it's
fun
up
again.
It's amping up. It's amping up. Ramping up.
The kid's back watching his sketchy TV with the antenna there, where he's like flipping through the channels.
Yeah.
More sad news about a missing mom.
More sad news about
Mary Freeman.
Hold on. More sad news about a missing dinner table. Hello.
Well, yeah. Right after that, I think is when he goes over and he's like, Dad, where do we eat now?
Don't worry about it, kid. Well, you don't fucking eat.
You eat in your lap, boy. Is that what Michael Keaton sounds like?
Yeah, I think so. That was a pretty good Michael Keaton, I think. You eat in your lap, boy.
You eat in your lap, boy.
Most people don't have tables. So then, yeah, more static TVs. There's a lot of static TVs. Whatever, it's going on. And then we have a heartfelt moment here, right?
Sure. Are you talking about Daddy, you gonna be okay?
Yeah, the son drops the hammer on him and just like,
Daddy, are you okay?
Are you going?
Daddy, are you okay?
Daddy, you okay?
Daddy, are you okay, Daddy?
Daddy, I can't say that. Are you gonna be okay? And that's it.
And he says, "Yeah, I promise." Idiot.
Nope.
Spoilers. He won't be okay.
He won't be okay, kid. Hold on. Now he says, "Are you going to be okay?" He's like, "I promise I will be."
Mm-hmm.
At the very end of the movie, what he says to the radio, does he answer that question?
No, he doesn't.
No, he doesn't. Okay.
No, he just says, "I'm sorry, Mikey," or whatever.
Yeah. I was like, "Oh shit, this might have been good. This would have been good if he answered that question." Been like, if he just said, "I'm okay."
Daddy, are you okay?
Daddy, you okay? Anyways, all right, we'll get there. So then we cut back to the Keaton home, the apartment, sweet ass apartment. It's nighttime at this point. TV. More. Hey, you guessed it. More static TV.
You guessed it. It's a rainy nighttime where there's staticky TVs playing.
Yes, it's between the hours of 2 a.m. and 6 a.m. when nothing's on.
Yeah.
More tears, more static. Yes.
Less Golden Girls, more Girls Gone Wild. And finally, he sees Anna for the first time since her death.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And she's on the staticky TV saying, "John, my love." And it's a pretty clear picture of her. And then, like a fucking psycho, he goes in to kiss the screen.
I mean, come on.
And expectedly, because it's a horror movie, hands like slam up against the screen with a lady screaming.
So obnoxious.
Yeah, horrible jump scare. And she's like speaking in tongues or something. But then Anna comes back, and then there's like spooky shadow people.
Yep, we see the three figures. He does some analysis. We see the wife. We see the three figures again.
So then we get the screaming.
All right, now.
Go there.
Right, okay,
go there.
Now I'm starting to get annoyed with this movie. God damn it.
The movie sucks.
I still like it. I still like the concept, though. It's all there. Anyways, all right, let's keep going.
Yeah, so Anna screams, or somebody screams, "Go there, go there." Yeah. Jonathan starts playing it over and over again. Yeah, Anna saying, go now. And then we get the man's voice weirdly whispering, "Willow Avenue." Which, interesting. So like a dummy, Michael Keaton goes to Willow Avenue. Yeah. He's like, "Oh, you know what's a good idea? Go to wherever that sketchy guy said I should go."
Another question I'm gonna throw out there, real short, quick. Hopefully, this is short. I'll
extend it when you're done. So
yeah,
go on.
Does Michael Keaton's character have any friends? Like,
no, I think he has a death wish actually.
So if I was going through this, I'd probably go through this whole situation, and you'd be like,
"Hey, listen, boss,
we should probably stop hanging out with Russ."
Yeah. I know your wife died a bit there back, but like, come on, son.
And I'm pretty sure you weren't even married.
Yeah. Like, were you really married?
Were you actually married?
Your kid has that other mom.
Yeah. Right. If I was like, "Hey, Jared, would you come to Willow Ave with me?"
I'd be like, "Sure. Why not?" Well, when in doubt, pinky out. When double in doubt, go with your buddy to a sketchy place.
Yeah. Right. I'd be like, but it's got to be now. And it's like 2:30 in the morning.
Right. And I'd say, "Okay, sure.
Yeah. I'll see you there."
Yeah. Well, no,
okay.
we'd carpool.
Yeah. Or I'd Uber. Well, you have a car. I don't have a car. So I'd Uber to you.
Yeah, I come pick you up.
Yeah.
Oh, I come get you.
Okay, you come pick me up. Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. So you come pick me up, and then we go to Willow Ave. Which is actually which is
2003 Cavalier, very well insulated from electrical problems, as we'll come to find out.
But if I called you at 2:30 in the morning, when I came in, I need to get to Willow Avenue. Would you be like,
"All right.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
I'd be like, I mean, whatever you want, man. I trust you. You're not going to get me into trouble or kill me, right?" And you'd be like, "Sure."
Yeah. Right.
It would all work out.
Okay. All right. Good.
I trust you.
Yeah. So basically, he just needs friends. Anyways, moving on.
Well, so when you said you were going to try and shorten this, and I said I'm going to elongate it.
Oh, okay.
So this
I thought that was it.
No, it's real. So this next part, when he goes to Willow Ave, right? And he rolls up to this like sketchy street. It's spooky and dark and nighttime, and he's driving around. And
it's the middle of nowhere. It's a corner of Willow and like 122nd Street, which
it doesn't exist.
It does,
right,
yeah,
exactly.
It's like whatever.
And it's like in Washington somewhere.
Yes.
So it reminded me so much of this one time in New Hampshire, where I'm from, and I was driving around the sticks one night. Roughly exactly 2:30 in the morning, and I like pulled up to this 4-way intersection, and I had my buddy Dave in the car, in the passenger seat, and I stopped there, and at this 4-way stop, at the street to the right of me at the intersection, you'll never believe it.
Ghost.
Maybe
dead person, dead lady.
It was a dead lady, kind of. So, no, I'm not kidding. So like there was a car. It's like it's the spookiest thing that's ever happened in my life. There was a car with its lights off. That was the weird part. The weird part was the car had its lights off.
Okay.
Sitting at the stop sign, looked like it was off. Like there was no steam or anything coming out of the car. And there was an old lady, like in her 80s,
Yeah.
at the steering wheel.
That's old.
With like hollow looking eyes, just like staring straight ahead.
Come
on. I stopped at because I didn't think anything of it. And I stopped at this intersection and I like waved her on and I was like, yeah, go ahead.
She didn't go.
No reaction, nothing. And then I waited for like another like 20 seconds and I was like, we're getting out of here, Dave. And then I drove away quickly. But like, it's like one of the weirdest things that ever happened to me. I don't know what happened that day.
Wow.
Spooky old lady in a car that was like off, sitting at an intersection in Derry, New Hampshire.
She was dead.
Yeah, Derry, New Hampshire, kind of like Derry, Maine. Stephen King. It, ipso facto, she's it. Something to think about.
Another moment of something to think about moments.
Yeah, they all float down here, buddy.
Oh boy. Okay. All right. Well, that's cool.
Right. Anyway, so yeah. Okay. So then she pulled up. Michael Keaton pulls up. Yeah.
Yep. So here we are at the corner of Willow and Hunter and Willow, whatever doesn't matter, the Nexus universe, and he pulls up and he's like, he gets out of his car and he's like, oh, what the fuck? And he looks up first and sees a spark coming from a transformer and like right in the
like electrical pole. Yeah. Turns out it's an accident. Somebody crashed into the pole.
Someone hit the pole, flipped the car over to the side over side. I don't know how they did that, by the way. It doesn't make any sense. But anyways.
Yeah. There's radio playing. Children are crying while the one child
is crying. And so he runs over the car and he's like, holy shit. And he gets the car. And of course, another jump scare. Woman in the car in the front seat, just get my baby, get my baby,
please.
I was like, holy smokes, what's going on here? And then
spooky shadows overhead.
Yeah, and then you
noticed the spooky shadows, right?
I did not actually.
Oh, they're like spooky shadows that like that go. It's the three wise men.
So they caused the accident. They flipped
exactly.
Okay, and they're setting this whole thing up. I don't know why. There's no reason.
No, there's no reason. Yeah.
There's no driving reason to harass this
chaos. Yeah.
Dumb. So car's on its side against the thing, whatever, and he's looking up. The woman's freaking out inside, and like above, he looks up and there's
the dingo ate my baby. Right.
Pretty much, and the transformers are like sparking, and like there's a cable coming down. And he's trying to reach and whatever.
Super dangerous, which like there's like electrical cables flying around. There's sparks flying off the transformer. Yeah. This is a situation that, ITMT public service announcement here. If you see something like that, don't approach it.
Yeah.
That's a bad situation.
Yeah.
You'll get electrocuted. Yeah. Don't die.
Yeah, please stay away. I mean,
don't be like Michael Keaton. If I've said it once, I've said it 100 times.
Yeah, that's a tough one. Because there was a baby in the back seat.
Well, sure. You have to collect the baby, right?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Don't be a total coward. Get the baby first.
So he gets the baby to safety. The woman obviously dies.
Yeah, she gets smoked because the transformer drops, hits the car, and electrifies the whole thing. Yeah.
And then Michael Keaton kisses the baby weirdly.
Oh, I missed that. Wait, what?
Yeah, I don't. He's like standing watching the mom die. From a safe distance, and he like kisses the rando baby like a fucking psycho.
Nah, maybe he's just comforting the baby. I don't know. Oh,
then continuing his trend to be a weirdo, Michael Keaton goes to the funeral of this lady that he doesn't know.
Right? I mean, he saved the kid's life, so
sure.
And obviously the cops came and were like, oh, this is funny. You again at 2:30 in the morning finding.
Yeah. And this time he brings a date. He brings Sarah to the wedding.
Can you plus one a wedding? Can you plus one a funeral?
If I can plus 3 a summer party, I can definitely plus 1 a wedding. A funeral. Sorry. So he talks to the husband somehow. He like approaches the widower, Mr. Black, because they ran out of names. Yeah. They were like, oh, we'll just call him Mr. Black. Yeah. And so he asked Mr. Black, like, well, how are you doing these days? And he goes, well, the baby's doing better every day, I guess. Times are tough because my wife died horrifically, in case you weren't aware.
Which you should be because you were there.
Right, exactly. So then Michael Keaton gets on about some nonsense of like, well, I went to Willow Avenue because your wife reached out to me.
Yeah, well, so he does this whole thing where he has a moment and like, yeah, then Keaton chases the father.
Right.
And it's just like, and Sarah, Deborah Unger's characters, I was like, I wouldn't do this.
Yeah. And that's when we get from Mr. Black here, Carol may have believed you, but not me. So you and your sick friends, you stay the fuck away from, get your one PG-13 fuck.
Yeah, that's right.
Me and my family.
He does. That's right. Yeah. There's your one.
Mm-hmm. So then Michael Keaton walks away. Justifiably.
Yeah.
And
guy's pretty angry. Leave him alone.
Talking to the blonde lady, Sarah. I called her the blonde lady. I think 3/4 of the way through the movie because I did not know her name was Sarah until later.
Okay. That's
I think
fair.
there's a point later where Michael Keaton screams, Sarah, and then it was clear to me.
Yeah, the whole rooftop scene. Yeah, it's coming.
Right. Exactly. Right. Exactly. So Michael Keaton now is convinced that he's God. And he's like, well, I couldn't help Carol Black, but I can help them. Which, first of all, who's them? Second of all, yeah, all of them seems like too many, Michael Keaton. Like, slow your roll here.
Easy, Batman.
Right. Exactly. Right. Like, your parents didn't die for nothing.
Yeah, relax, Dark Knight.
Right. And then, like, the priest walks by kind of ominously.
He did, right? In the background, he was kind of like,
right?
That's kind of weird. I don't know if that meant anything. But and then we're back at Keaton home, more static TV watching, because that's what we do, right?
More sad piano, more cityscape mixed in.
And then it just kind of cuts and jumps, and then we get the
this
shadows,
is when
right?
And this is when the disappearance of Mary Freeman becomes like more like they say it again. You're like, oh, I remember they said that a half an hour ago. I guess it's going to be important now for the movie. Cool. Sweet.
Great. So yeah, more static watching because that's what we do in this movie.
And there's like a face that kind of looks like Michael Keaton, I thought, but I guess not. And then a voice that just says, "Kill her."
I couldn't hear any of this stuff because like I had my window open because it's like a little muggy around here in my living room.
Yeah, I have air conditioning, right?
Yeah, and I was cranking up the volume and I couldn't hear all these little nuggets of dialogue, but I was like, you know what? I don't think it matters.
They were important, right?
I was like, kill her. Yeah, I was like, that doesn't matter. Whatever that thing just said doesn't matter.
Yeah, stupid. So then,
details.
So then, this is when Jonathan discovers that Michael Keaton. Jonathan discovers that Willow Ave. The voice that he heard that said to go to Willow Ave is the same voice that said all that, stop, pig, bastard, whatever, all that shit earlier.
Yeah. And do we ever have a closure about that stop you pig bastard stuff? Do we get a closure? No. Yeah, I didn't think so. Okay.
No, just a violent spirit.
So this is when they do some research. We got some research going on. We got some notebook looking up. We got some notes looking up, which is the same thing as notebook looking up. We got a lot of connections happening. We got there's a connection. There's a connection between the people that Raymond Preuss was seeing ended up dying, right? Here comes my ring connection. And now all of a sudden, since Ray is dead,
right. Well, they start reading all the names. They're like, oh, Carol Black. Wait a second. I know Carol Black.
Yeah.
Mary Freeman. Wait a second. Wait, Edith Tomlinson. Yeah, I know that person. I talked to that person's daughter.
Yeah. Now all of a sudden they start going missing. Like those people start going missing. This is where I was like, oh, this is actually starting to get interesting. This I thought was good. This is I was like, okay.
It could have been. They fucked it up. But
I agree. Like this is where I was like, this is kind of cool. This is kind of fun. This could be interesting. But then it just played out poorly.
Right. And this is when you get lines where it's like, first they visit Raymond, then I see them, then they die. You're like, oh.
Well,
okay,
then,
Michael Keaton,
because he's kind of taking over Ray's position of the person who can communicate and see them.
Stupid.
I mean, he's got the right Sony equipment. That's all that matters.
Yep. Exactly. Right.
And then we head back to home, right?
Yep. And he talks to Sarah about, well, if she's still alive, Anna will show me where Mary Freeman is. Like super convinced that they can save her. He thinks he's got some kind of superhero powers now. They're watching more staticky tapes. There's so much watching of staticky tapes in this movie. Ugh. This is when I discovered her name is Sarah, because he yells, "Sarah, come here, look at this."
Yeah, he yells it.
Yeah, and shows her some like muffled moaning lady, and he's like, "That's it. That's got to be Mary Freeman." And Anna is giving him the instructions. Please, John, go now.
Yeah,
go now.
Mm-hmm. She keeps saying that. Yep.
And Jonathan gets frustrated because she's not telling him where he's supposed to go.
And this is when he starts yelling at a static TV / his dead wife because she won't tell him where to go.
Exactly, which, as everyone knows, usually works out pretty well.
Yeah.
And
when in doubt, yell at someone.
All of a sudden, he gets like a ghostly look on his face as he looks towards the TV. And Sarah turns around, and it's her on the TV.
Oh, my God.
Saying, "John, it hurts." So, like, it seems like she's going to die at some point, thankfully. So then, at some point, Jonathan, like, I think it's like, does she live in a hotel room? I don't understand.
First, I was like, are they at a hotel? And I was like, okay, they've been to a hotel because, like, just to, break, the chain or whatever. And I was like, wait, no, they're at Sarah's apartment. She lives in an apartment complex because there's a photo. She's got her photo of her and her fiance and like all that other stuff.
Right. Yep. And I don't know. It's stupid. Like, it still looks like a hotel. Like, why would you do it this way?
So I guess, she's on the bed and she's like, she takes some sleeping pills, I assume. And she's like, oh, what if I just don't wake up? And he's like, no, you'll be fine.
Well, she like takes her sleeping pills with whiskey or something. Like, oh, okay, cool. Smart.
I mean, come on, as one does.
And like, where the fuck are Jonathan's kids? Like, where's his son? Like,
still with the ex-wife. Still with the ex-wife. He's fine. The kid's fine.
Maddening.
It's okay. So Keaton's there. She's sleeping, sound asleep in the bed. Keaton's there. He's wrestling around on the couch or chair, whatever. It doesn't matter.
Well, he goes out to the balcony first, and then goes back inside.
Oh, right. Or they had like a weird, yeah.
They want to show you the balcony.
That's a good call. You're right. Yeah. They want to show you the balcony. That's a good point. And that it's open. It's accessible from the bedroom because it's important.
Right.
And then he goes back in, goes to the bathroom, and so I was really confused. So he opens the door to the bedroom, and there's like some pawn, like chess piece door stopper.
Door stop. Yeah.
But it was shaped as like a pawn.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, whatever. And he used that to prop open the door, which I didn't quite. Maybe he did that.
That was kind of weird. Yeah.
I didn't quite, because it was an automatically closing. I don't know. That was weird.
Yeah. And he, of course, when he bends down he goes to the bathroom. When he goes down to spit in the sink, he like bends over, and that's when the three shadowy figures go by in the hallway, because of course they do. And then like the doorstop rolls away, and like John goes to the bedroom. She's not in the bed, and the light on the ceiling is weirdly moving around, which isn't important. But then he looks out, and she's on the balcony, like standing on the railing. And then she just like jumps off backwards onto the glass overhang that's like above the hotel door.
See ya.
Smell you later. She seemingly dies, sprays blood everywhere.
I mean, come on.
That's like a 5-story drop.
I think it was even more than that.
Yeah, stupid. It's dumb.
It was a lot.
It's dumb that she stays alive, right?
Yeah, she destroyed herself. She's gone. Yes. She gone. And she's certainly not recovering as quickly as she does based on the end of this movie.
No, of course not. So we cut to the hospital where, like, how is she still alive? And she manages to somehow say, "John, it hurts."
Which is what her static recording said to her, like to them.
Exactly.
2 hours earlier, a day earlier, or whatever.
Which is validating Jonathan's delusions that are apparently reality, that he's seeing, premonitions of the future that will turn into somebody dying at some point.
Yeah.
Which I love. Like it cuts to like there's like the doctors in the hallway being like, well, there's a 30 to 40% chance she might pull through. That's so fucked. Like
what? 30 to 40? What?
What's happening in the hallway here?
Thanks, Doc. And then we get to Mr. Detective, Mr. Gold Tips Detective comes back, who we
bad cop.
Earlier. Yeah. And he's just kind of like, hey,
well, your neighbors said they saw you standing on the balcony with her. What's up with that?
What's up with that?
What's the deal with balconies? And he's like, I don't know. And the cop's like, okay.
So you tell me you didn't see anything?
We were on a break. Then he turns into Ross.
Yeah.
From Friends, right? So the cop's like, okay, fine. The woman, Sarah, is like unconscious in her hospital bed, and Jonathan's like, well, I guess it's probably fine if I leave. And he sits there and he goes, you're going to be okay. You're going to be fine. And that's when she looks at him again and says, it hurts. It hurts.
Brutal. That's brutal. But
and then he just goes home. He's like, well, all right, well.
But we got to move along here because we can't just
that stinks.
Yeah. So then we head home, and we're home. Nighttime. He gets home, and his sweet ass apartment has been tossed.
Yeah, he just Sarah was like in her hospital bed crying about how much it hurts to die.
Yep.
And Jonathan's like, well, see you later. And goes home to his like destroyed apartment. Weirdly, there's feathers flying everywhere.
Yeah, I didn't quite get that one either. There's feathers everywhere, and there's like holes in the windows that are very clean. I was like, oh, a bunch of birds come through here. And I was like, oh, maybe these.
Seems like it.
Yeah, I don't know.
But then he goes upstairs. Oh, sorry. To his TV room.
Yeah, I was going to say there's only one. So everything's trash. So pretty much the entire place is trash, but there's one screen that's working, right? Next to a perfect Sony logo, of course. And again, we get the wife telling him to go now.
It just happens to be 2:30 a.m. again.
This is the time where she died, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So she says, go now, John. And then it's like shows images of the bridge where she died, the bridge near where she died.
Yep.
And then it's like a very weird, staticky, clear image, and there's a woman screaming and a man's face, maybe unclear,
yeah, kind of ish.
No one knows.
Yeah, no, it doesn't matter.
But he starts driving like a lunatic to the bridge.
Yeah, so he takes off like a madman, and then while he takes off,
shout out to Meatloaf.
And then when he takes off, the detective shows up at his house.
Right.
Because we kind of glazed over, but when at the hospital, when the detective was interviewing me, he was just like, "Hey, just be around for when I ask you questions." And Keaton was like,
I might swing by your place later.
Yeah, he's just like, "Yeah, it just so happens I might swing by later, like 2:30 in the morning or whatever time it is, like because it's very late." Detective shows up at his house, sees his house has been tossed upside down, and then he sees, but the detective sees the screen with the woman crying and bound.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So
exactly.
The detective sees it. So you're like, oh, he's gonna show up, I guess, right?
Yep. So then we get Jonathan arrives at the bridge.
Mm-hmm.
He's walking around looking for something, sees the keep out sign on the fence and recognizes the whole time we haven't been saying it, but the whole time we've been seeing, random staticky images.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of them have been including those 4 letters, EP space OU, and it's the middle of the keep out. Then he sees what looks like it might be a staticky TV, which we all know is his favorite thing, in a window upstairs, and he's like, "Oh shit, I gotta go see that."
Because I love static TVs. I'm heading up there. Yeah,
sure does. So the cops still wandering on the mansion. It cuts back to him, and John calls him, trying to tell him where he is. And he's like,
"But of course,
hey, I'm at
the Pier 16."
Yeah, exactly.
Pier 16. Clearly, the cop heard that because they end up showing up, so they heard that.
So Jonathan's running around the building. It's because the movie has to have raining constantly. It's now raining inside, which is cool.
Fair. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, it's all good. But like, what is this place? Also, like, I know it's Pier 16, but like,
So yeah, it's a pier, but I think it's like an empty dock warehouse that's on warehouse on the pier, basically.
So Jonathan's like running around this giant warehouse, and he's wondering why it's raining inside, like we all are. Looking for the staticky lights still. Finally sees the room upstairs, and he's going upstairs to investigate, but the building's enormous and it's taking like 1,000 years for him to walk around. And so he goes through this creepy plastic that goes to another room that has ominous music where there's no payoff.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, there's more TVs. And
well, he does come across like this serious Sony dream station of like, right. He probably looked at it and was like, damn, I wish I had this equipment.
I wish I had this kind of like weird, sex setup or whatever. Yeah.
Anyways, so he's looking at the setup and he's bending over, and all of a sudden you see a shadow like walk behind him. So someone walks behind him. You're like, okay, cool. Then he hears more screams, right? Some jump scare, whatever.
Yep.
And then there's like so he turns around because he hears the scream, and then he's like, there's a projection, I think.
It's like the reflection of the rain, or
I was so confused about this.
Something stupid. I don't understand. Yeah.
So he basically sees his wife.
Right.
She's projected on like a story up or something, like on the wall.
John, my love. Right.
But I'm like, why? What? Like, is this a projection from like a video from like the? Is this set up to be this? It was so confusing and it didn't make any sense.
Yep. And now this is when I haven't talked about it yet, really, since we've been doing the whole episodes. But again, I've seen this movie before. I don't remember anything until like right about now, where I'm like, oh. Now I remember it was always a trap. Like she's saying go because he's supposed to leave.
Yeah.
Right. It took me up until right now. Like 5 minutes left in the movie. I'm like, oh, now I remember I saw this 16 years ago. It's a trap.
So then, all right. So she's projecting on him all. He kind of gets all daisy. He gets dopey. He's like, "Oh, it's my wife." It's like, dude, stop. It's not. Stop. This was annoying. It's like it's not. It's a fucking projection.
Right. We get more shadowy figures on the TV. We get the women's screaming again.
And then so he makes his way up. So he hears the screams and he makes his way towards the screams. Right.
Which takes another 1,000 years.
Oh, it takes so long. And he gets up there and he just turns a corner and there's a woman in a chair, like a torture chair, right?
Yep. Totally ignoring everything his wife said, which was leave.
Yeah. Well, it's tough when someone's screaming too. But so he does come across the table though first. So he's going on his hunt to find the screaming noise, and he comes across the table of all the power tools and the fucking clamps and
the torture implements. Yeah.
The torture tools, right? So he comes around a corner, and then there's this woman in a chair, and he's just like, "Oh my god!" He doesn't say that, but he should.
And it's the scary murderer in front of him.
Yeah, finally. And then the scary murderer guy steps out, and it's
fucking elevator guy.
The guy from it's fucking elevator guy.
Ugh. So lame. They talked to me, John. That was their idea. All of it. All their idea.
Hey, you guys okay?
Yeah. So then John looks back, sees the spooky shadows.
Mm-hmm.
The murderer continues. She was beautiful, John. I brought her to them, and they were very pleased with me. Talking about his wife as he's like explaining how he murdered John's wife, which John's obviously not psyched about.
And then in this moment when he says this, right? Is this when we get all the flashbacks to like they do the quick flashbacks of like how his wife died, and like basically this guy manufactured him. He broke her leg, smashed her head, and like made it seem like it was like she did all this thing. And I did like the quick cut of him just to remind you. If you couldn't remember it about an hour ago, seeing this guy's fucking face, they were like, just so you know, they did a quick, it's like, how stupid. Like, come on, give the audience a little bit of fucking breathing room here. Also, just like, to make it that random guy is like, you guys okay? And hold on for like 3 seconds.
Yeah, stupid. So then
that's Departed bullshit.
He steps in, tries to prevent this new murder that's about to happen. And Sarah wakes up at midnight in the hospital for some reason and says, "Men in the room." Yeah. Like, what?
Yeah, so then
I
there's
guess
like
Sarah's like some kind of
clairvoyant?
intuition about. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it was weird. All of a sudden it went chaos. Like this part went chaos. So
Yeah, it's like this is really terribly shot scene. I think like
yeah,
the ghosts are attacking John, the three shadowy men ghosts from earlier, and
yes,
you can't really tell what's happening at any given time, and like
no,
but
no,
also somehow it affects Sarah in the hospital, and so Sarah's like, there's a lot of like bastard, bastard, bastard,
yeah,
like just because I think they're trying to justify their PG-13 a little bit.
a
I don't.
little bit. But so like these three ghosts are just like kind of just attacking John and like tossing him around, twisting his leg,
Right.
stabbing the leg, breaking his leg, doing all this sort of stuff to him, and it's like very supernatural. Looks terrible. Doesn't look good at all, and it's just like very shortcut, quick cuts, and just kind of garbage, trying to make it seem really chaotic and violent
Right.
for
Yep.
PG-13. But also the
and then
cutbacks to Sarah just being like freaking out at the hospital. It's like, what? Why is there a connection here? What's going on?
Right. And then that's when it just turns into like static buzzing again. Like, oh, and it's like static and whatever.
Yeah.
And then the SWAT team bursts in, right?
Yeah. So we'll, so we don't see where Keaton is, but Mr. Construction Site guy, he's still alive, and he's going up to the woman who is still alive, and she's sitting in a chair.
Yep.
He's about to go do something, and then pop, pop, 2 shots. That guy drops, and all of a sudden, Mr. Detective Frosted Tips comes in, and the SWAT team comes in and locks down the area. And then they look down the elevator shaft, and what's down there at the very bottom?
Yeah, it's mangled Michael Keaton.
Mangled, but he was little left leg just kind of twisted and up in the other side.
And it's still raining inside for some reason.
And by the way, the woman that was tied up was Mary Freeman.
It was Morgan Freeman, yeah, the whole time.
Just saw Freeman. I saw M. Freeman.
Can you imagine?
And there I was, tied up to a chair. Like, oh man,
Penguins.
Penguins. I didn't like being where I was. Yeah. So
face.
So it was Mary Freeman, and that was a woman that was missing from earlier in the movie. Ta-da! Yep. Everyone's saved.
Yep. And so like now it's a new sunny day. It's Jonathan's funeral. Like, thank God we landed finally at Michael Keaton's funeral. We zoom in on the coffin. We're showing the priest talking. We're showing the son looking kind of sad, but also detached, like not dead dad sad.
I think it's like the kid wasn't a good actor.
Yes, agreed.
It was like, can we get someone else in here? Can we get the kid from Star Wars in here?
Yeah, let's get Haley Joel Osment. He's like not 30 yet, right?
Yeah. We can fix it in post.
Yeah, exactly.
Put some dots in his face. We'll make him de-age
great
him.
child actor.
We'll de-age him.
So then it shows Sarah in a wheelchair, right? At the funeral, just kind of like sitting there.
Yeah.
And like everyone's driving away, and we show the kid's mom and her apparently new husband, whatever. And in the car, all of a sudden, it's 2:30 p.m. There's some static on the radio.
Man, 2:30.
And we get Michael Keaton's voice. I'm sorry, Mikey. I'm sorry, kid. And mom is freaked out, shuts off the radio immediately. The little weirdo kid is like smiling and happy instead of being terrified, which is what you would expect.
Yeah, none of it makes any sense whatsoever. It's not a happy ending. That's a fucking terrifying ending. That's
super fucked up.
Absolutely terrifying. I think actually the mom did the right thing. Shut the radio off. Let's get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, definitely. And then Sarah's like wheeling around the cemetery there's no car in sight. Like, I don't know how she's getting home.
Yeah. And she's like in the middle of the crossroads of the cemetery, and she looks over and she sees like people burying someone, but she's by herself in the middle of the cemetery. And then,
and then the spooky shadows are behind her.
The spooky shadows. And then she just turns to the right, and then it just does a jump scare thing. Yeah.
Right.
And I was like, why? So what, is she dead now?
I don't know. And then there's like the staticky picture of John and his wife looking sad. Like Michael Keaton and
Yeah,
Anna, they just
Yeah,
look kind of sad at the end. And you're like,
it was kind of like a Blue Ghost end of Return of the Jedi moment.
Well, yeah, right. Well, but then even worse, because at least that was the end. This one then has another title card.
More reading, more
Yeah.
fucking reading.
Of the many thousands of EVP messages, approximately 1 in 12 have been overtly threatening in nature. ... Yeah, and then nothing. I thought there was good. I thought they were like starting a sentence.
Yeah. Well, no. So actually, it's flipped. So they do that, and then it flips. That's when you get the static image. I think of Keaton and Anna.
No, definitely not.
Oh, that was before.
It was before. It was right before. That's the end, and then it's the credits roll, and there's like that. Yeah, and that's when we get the producers listed first on the credits, which is weird. Did you notice that?
I didn't.
Like weirdly, it like lists the lead producers, and then it's like, oh, and then the actors, I guess.
What?
Yeah, and it's like that wild Our Lady Peace song, which like OLP is.
Oh my god!
Sometimes not bad, but
no, not good. Yeah. I was like, when the credits roll, I was like, more reading, what? And then when the credits rolled and the song played, I was like, what the fuck is this song? I was like, I feel like I recognize this band. So I texted you and I was like, what is, I have to know what the song, and you're like, it's Our Lady Peace. I was like, oh god, oh my god, this is terrible. This is so bad.
Somewhere Out There is the name of the song. And yeah, I hate everything about all of this.
Was the song written for the movie?
Oh, I didn't look into that. It might be one of their like real songs. I don't know.
Oh man, something out there. It was so bad, so garbage. Like, what a terrible way to end a movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that was the end. There's nothing else. I thought it was like, I watched all the way through the credits. I was like, maybe there'll be something after.
Nope.
No.
This was it. That's the end of it.
So you hate it more than you thought you would. By the end now. Because you seemed positive about it.
I did. I was. I'm still. I don't know. Yeah, I'm angry at the fact that like they had like a reasonable concept here, and
the concept was so cool. It'd have been awesome.
Yeah, and I like the way they play with it, like just getting into like just shifting from like second to third act, like where she's like, once you start realizing that they start seeing like future things happening, I was like, all right, this is cool. This is fun. Now this is fun. This is pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't like the idea of like it being like the evil entities being just like this supernatural thing. I was like kind of hoping it just would have been humans, people.
Yeah, that would have been cool.
Because I don't know.
There are a million ways it could have been better.
A million ways. And it was just so close to having, but yeah, I don't know. It didn't happen,
movie chose violence, right?
This movie chose poorly. So yeah, 7%. I'm now curious. I don't know if I actually want to watch the sequel, but it's like
well, the sequel's supposed to be good.
It's 75%.
I know.
That is crazy.
Yeah. 0 to hero.
Nathan Fillion and Katie Sackhoff. I mean, come on, that's a no-brainer.
I kind of want to see it. We can't do it for the podcast.
No. 75%.
We could include it in a trailer trash. Maybe we'll like do a little addendum update of like, well, we both watched the movie and it was pretty good.
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think that's it. That's it. We did it. We made it.
Thank God. I'm so glad. I'm proud of us.
I am too. I think this was good. So I guess thank you for listening. If you've made it this far, we appreciate it. We'll be back next week with a new movie. We're heading into the action. Yeah, a new trailer trash next week. I mean, we can say this, right? We're heading into the
risky
action world, and we're bringing back an ITMT favorite. Not going to spoil it, but you should maybe follow us on Twitter, ITMT Pod. Maybe we'll throw it out there.
Nicolas Cage, but
it's not Nick Cage. But it's an ITMT favorite who we've actually only done one movie from so far.
So he's a favorite for sure.
Yep. Favorite, but we don't, whatever.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll spoil it. But so yeah, we'll be back next week with Trailer Trash. Meantime, you can follow us on Instagram at It's This Meets That, and then we're ITMT Pod on Twitter, which you should follow because we're gonna get better with it.
Oh yeah, and if you're feeling old fashioned, you can send us an email at itsthismeetsthat@gmail.com. Or you can always find all of the episodes that we have ever recorded, which at this point we're in the 60s now, I think.
Yeah.
It's thismeetsthat.com. So check out the back catalog. It's all there for you.
Do it.